Alright, hey everyone. I'm gonna keep working on this piece here with the Holy Family. I'm gonna bring back my sketch layer here that I made. Make sure everything looks good. Bring that one up a little bit, and then I'm gonna bring this one down a little bit. So I'm working on St. Joseph, and we are using my brush called Opus Inker, and just gonna try to keep going here using the rules I set for myself in the last video, which is try not to zoom and try to minimize the use of the undo button. Now I didn't quite finish the sketching out the hands, so oh, maybe I did actually. Hold on. I think I just have to bring this one up a little bit. Yeah, that was fine. I'll bring this one down. Okay. And I'm gonna trust my sketch. Even, well, actually no, I might have to be able to kind of freehand this a little bit. I'm just gonna use the brush to kind of smooth it out. And again, this is why I really like a inking brush with like some rigid edges, because when you use it to erase itself, it looks like a natural stroke. It looks like I did it on purpose, you know. I didn't quite finish like St. Joseph's legs, so assuming this is like an apron, maybe it will stop like around right here. I don't know if I want to put like a pocket with some tools in the apron or something, or like a belt, maybe a rope around here. But maybe I'll just keep it simple. And then here we'll just make it like a gown. I really don't know the words for the types of clothing they use. Yeah, I didn't quite complete the sketch, so I might bring this out a little bit to show that his leg is like protruding out that way a little bit. Yeah. Let's start with Mary now. Or actually, yeah, let's start with Mary. Let's save the best for last. Let's go to baby Jesus for last. So, softer features on Mary. Yeah, I think the sketch is pretty good, and I'm just gonna trust it. Yeah, I think that's fine. Again, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit because I don't want to stay zoomed in too far. I want to make sure the pupils are looking in the right direction. Not talking too much during this one, but you guys can see my drawing process happening. I gotta get better about my banter skills. Maybe I'm just concentrated right now. Or maybe, I don't know. And I don't like this one as much as this sketch beneath. What's going on? I might have to zoom in on this one. I'm being very careful, I guess, about the face of the Blessed Virgin. Keeping the contour thin. Okay, now we keep going. Okay. I'm not flowing as well as I was yesterday with the St. Joseph. Wonder what it is. Maybe it's the angle of this thing, or maybe just because with a feminine character, maybe the lines are a little bit more delicate to place than with a masculine character. I don't really know. I'm not gonna think about it too much, I guess. And then, should we get some hair right over here? Yeah, we can add some hair on this side. Trying to use the right amount of hatching lines here. Maybe keep them together. Something like that. I don't know if it's like the way I'm seated in my chair, but I don't feel the most comfortable right now. But we'll just get this drawing time in. How much time do I have? It's 11:14. I work at 12 at a new school that I haven't been to yet. Substituting today, and then back at my other job later tonight at 5. So closing at my retail job. I think I get to know today if I get to stay permanently with them, so that'll be exciting. We'll see. I don't think I did that great on the last interview. Been kind of bombing these interviews. Interviews are kind of hard. Well, considering I'm competing against people who are like doing the same thing as me, people who are seasonal and trying to stay permanently, and we've all gotten feedback on how to do interviews better, and everyone's like kind of good at it. So I don't know. I guess in the past I thought I was okay at interviews just because I had never really failed an interview before, but I failed interviews like 2 or 3 times already. No, I think 2 times already, and didn't get through. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. I think like with these interviews, when they ask you questions, it's you have to come up with concrete examples of like things that you did that illustrate like your competency for that interview question. And it's like, I guess my memory is not so great that I'm not really very good at coming up with examples. I did in my very first interview with Apple, and I guess that kind of got me through, but... Oh, I mentioned Apple. Yeah, it is Apple. But the latest ones, not the cleanest execution of the interview. But you can, it's all about preparation, because if I, really looked at all the competencies and thought about situations where, I had applied them, I could still do better prep. And I think that's the key. But we'll see. I mean, I don't have the most confidence that I did well in that interview. Now, I have been recording the one metric I'm shooting for with these videos, which is recorded draw time. So all of the videos with the Mind Flayer, and then like all the videos I'm going to record with this piece, I'm just taking note of how much time I spend on each one. And I'm watching back, I'm going to be watching back all the, what do you call it, the Procreate playback, I forgot what it's called, the time-lapse replay. I'm going to be looking at all of them and kind of analyzing what I could do better. What I noticed with the Mind Flayer is that, like, undo is still a big issue with me. Even now I'm seeing it. So I have to actually, like, really focus and think about it in order for me to get it under control. But that's good. It's okay. Let's focus. Let's think. And it's not like I'm going to get the stroke every time, but I think if I kind of play with it more using the eraser, or just like be a little bit more sketchy and loose if I'm trying to figure something out as I go, kind of like this hand here. Yeah, like that. Just keep it loose. I think that's the key. I think that's the key takeaway from this one. Like, even if I'm doing line art, just keep it loose. Even with her face there, I was trying to be really delicate with, like, the contour of the face, but even then, I eventually get it. Get a little bit more angle on the chin here. Yeah. Okay. This looks fine. Maybe more not highlight, but more line weight on the contour here. We'll pull her out from the background. I'm not sure what my background is going to be here. Maybe, I don't know, some brown and green. Maybe just a color. I'm not really sure. I don't want to take any attention away from the subject matters, which are, arguably some of the most important subject matters in the world. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Okay, we can start on baby Jesus here. And we can reflect on him a little bit, like child Jesus. I mean, I drew him this way because this is kind of how my son looks. Big cheeks, very cute, curious, genuine, honest expressions, looking at his parents with wonder. And I wanted him to be guided in his walking by Mary and Jesus, because, even though he's God, the Word incarnate, he decided to take the form of a human and go through this life the same way we do, and show people, hey, this is how to live life. When he was a child, he wasn't doing his public ministry yet. He wasn't a teacher yet. I mean, arguably, he was in the temple teaching when he was like 12 years old or an adolescent, but I'm sure that was after he was still babbling as a baby and figuring out his words. I wonder if Mary and Joseph ever had to say, use your words, use your words. Did he cry like a crybaby? Did baby Jesus cry like a crybaby? He probably did. I mean, it's interesting because when we're adults and we cry and say, me, I want this and that, it's considered sinful, because we often have the means and the intelligence and faculties and capacity to get what it is we need or to deny things that are bad for us and things like that. But what, did Jesus like eat junk food? I mean, I don't know how much junk food they had back then. Did he, experience dopamine and pleasure the same way we do as kids with like sugary food and salty food? I mean, even back then, even if there wasn't like the processed food we have now, I'm sure they had some snacks and treats. And did Jesus, as a baby, as a child Jesus, not display that kind of sinful selfishness that we did as children? Was he on another level even as a baby? I don't know. Probably, he considering his divinity, but he still cried and said me when he was a baby, because you have to. When you're a baby, that's the only way to get attention. It's the only way to get what you need. And then when you grow up, you realize, okay, there are other ways to get what I need, and in fact, I can do it myself. Or rather, I mean, if you're Jesus, it would be, okay, I'm just going to depend on my Heavenly Father to give me everything I need. And I wonder how long or when did he start having that wisdom? Because we don't know anything about his life growing up besides that his dad was a carpenter. So he was most likely had the, some trade skills that his father had. I don't know. There's so much mystery to be unpacked. And I think that's okay. And, I think it's beautiful that there is mystery to unpack about the mysterious life of the Holy Family. I think right now this is my strongest devotion, not to just St. Joseph or Mary, not just to Jesus, but Jesus and his parents that he grew up with. It's a beautiful devotion to have, I think, for Catholics. Maybe a little less forehead here. That's a pretty big forehead, isn't it? No offense to people with big foreheads, that's fine. But let's, let's see. Maybe middle part? Yeah, middle part, get the symmetry in there. That's fine. That's fine as is. Okay. Okay, let's get baby Jesus' face in there. I think we'll call it the end of the video. I want a genuinely curious wonder expression. And I've seen this in my son a lot. Like, it's kind of like this what's happening face, but at the same time not being scared, feeling safe, just like curious. What's going to happen next? What's going on here? Do I color it in? No. How does it look compared to the sketch? He looks like he got a little bit older on the line art, but... And why? Why? Did the eyes get smaller? The nose and the mouth got a little bit bigger. So maybe we'll bring him back a little bit smaller. Keep things small. Yeah, that's fine. And here we got a little rope. A rope around his garment. His little tunic here. However, tied a rope around my son's waist? Not yet. Have I put a belt on him? Not really. He wears just tight pants usually with garters. But maybe I'll get something with a rope or a tie. Okay, so this piece is looking good so far. And we're going to dive into, I mean, we're just going to keep lining it. We're going to dive into the colors soon. Something like this. Okay, so far so good. I've been shying away from the hands, I guess, but we'll go into the hands next. Let's not be afraid. But we'll stop here and we'll call it a video. Okay, see you guys later. God bless. Bye-bye.